Hello everybody, and today we're doing What If Deku Was a Vampire, Part 1. I'm doing this, one, because I'm losing some good Pokemon that are getting me views, and the popular ones I'm doing now aren't even getting me that much. So, I was looking on the most popular What If Dekus, and this was 10 hours ago, 1,000 views. So I'm like, okay. I have an anime boy. I have simps. I have No, I don't have thoughts. That's okay, guys. So shout out to the original person who made this idea. I'm not original at all. Don't fight me in the comments. I only have 600 subs. The copyright system protects me. Okay. And yeah, if we can get to 1,000 months before school is out, which is June 2nd, June 5th actually, I do believe. And yeah, if we can get to that, that'd be awesome. So yeah, this is Call Me Rushed. Onto the video. Hello everybody, and today we are doing the story. Okay, why did I introduce myself? I don't know. Okay. So, onto the video. So Deku, when he's born with an average family in his mind. His parents, Inko Midoriya and Hisashi Midoriya, are the number one hero. No, why did I say number one immediately? Number 18, we'll call her psychotic. And the 21st best hero being Imperium. Sounded cool. It's a made-up word. It sounds cool. So, Deku, when he's born with white hair and pink eyes, Inko and Hisashi are like, oh, he looks so cool. And Inko then asks Hisashi if they want to make this public. Hisashi's like, maybe not yet, but we're not the best heroes, so I guess we could. How about when he gets his quirk? And Inko's like, yeah, that feels fine. But I don't want us becoming rude or anything when he ends up having a not-so-great quirk like us. But if he does have a great quirk, that'd be awesome, okay? And Hisashi's like, I promise, Inko. As, they were very caring and loving parents because, they had a shy Izuku, and all the kids who were around him thought he looked very cool. So, on his 4th birthday, the day after that, Inko Midoriya and Hisashi Midoriya took him to the Quirk Doctor. And when they entered the office, Quirk Doctor's like, hello, Psychotic and Imperium. And Inko is like, how do you know that? And the Quirk Doctor's like, don't worry, the government knows, but no one in the public knows, so I don't want you to worry. Inko's like, oh, okay. You scared me there. And Izuku is like, who are Imperium and Psychotic? And Inko's like, don't worry about it, Izuku. And after the Quirk Doctor took him to the back to get some tests done, Izuku comes out like, well, this'll be fun. As the Quirk Doctor comes out like, okay, ma'am. So it seems your son may have a quite vicious quirk. I don't want to alarm you, but he has a vampire quirk. And Inko's like, does he have any tendencies? And the Quirk Doctor is flipping through his notes like, no, I don't believe. Through all the tests, he never showed any violence towards any blood. I even cut myself and dripped some blood on him, just for testing purposes, as you'd assume. And he didn't seem to have any interest at all. But it does seem when he drinks a little blood, he gets vampire powers. But he can also use some of his own blood for his vampire powers. But when he does have his vampire powers used, well, he's using it, it seems that he can turn into a bat, he grows fangs, and as you'd imagine, those two front teeth are retractable. I'll have to put that on his notes. And that seems to be it. Also, he has heightened abilities, so like more durability, tougher bones, a lot more stamina. So, yeah, that seems to be it. Anything you want to be informed of later on? Or you want to schedule another appointment later? And Inko and Hisashi is like, no, I think we're good. And the Quirk Doctor asks them one final question, like, promise me you'll be nice to the kid. And Inko's like, of course we will. We made a promise. And Izuku gets in the car with Inko and Hisashi. And they congratulate him, like, nice job, Izuku, you got a cool quirk. Seems quite strong, too. As Hisashi gets a phone call, and he begins talking. And during the middle of it, he's like, oh, really? Okay. I'll have to ask my wife, though. As he puts the phone on his shoulder, like, Inko? And Inko looks at him like, what is it, Hisashi? And Hisashi is like, well, it seems that my friend has his business has a critical robbing problem, and he needs a strong hero to defend it. But you see, he's in America. And Inko's like, Hisashi, you know we can't do that to Izuku. We can't tear him away from his father. As Hisashi's like, yeah, I know, but we have to do this for my friend. As Inko's like, you're going to choose your friend over your wife and child? As Hisashi's like, as he puts the phone back on, like, sorry, Frank. My family means a lot more to me than your business having this. Just hire some pro heroes. After all, you were going to pay me, right? And he hears, like, no. And Hisashi's like, well, then I was not going to stay. Anyway, Frank, bye-bye. Not talking to you for a while. As he hangs up the phone. And Izuku's like, who is that, Dad? And Hisashi's like, no one you need to worry about, Izuku. As the next year, Inko and Hisashi moved up to the number 9 and 10 heroes. So, you can imagine they were a bit competitive with each other. And they focused on training Izuku a good amount. So they also put him into Daycare during this because they were pro heroes. So, Hisashi was put Izuku in a very high protection based daycare for very strong developing quirks for children. So when Izuku enters this, he sees a couple kids in a corner, all bundled up together around somebody. And Izuku walks over to them like, what is it? What happened? And Bakugo, Kirishima, Momo, and definitely not Uraraka, Mina, is like, this kid has an electric type quirk, but he's not the greatest with it. As Denki is like, his brain is fried. No giga brain, small brain. And Izuku's like, is he hurt? As they're like, no, it doesn't hurt him. It just makes him really, really brain dead. and dumb. And Momo's like, can I speak to you a sec, Izuku? As Izuku's like, sure. What's your name? As Momo walks to him like, my name is Yaoyorozu Momo. And Izuku's like, okay, well, can I call you Momo? And Yaoyorozu is like, sure. And Izuku's like, well, Momo, my name is Izuku Midoriya. And yeah, what's your quirk? And Momo's like, well, I have to understand the chemical compounds of the things I make, and I make them out of body fat. So, yeah, it's a pretty strong quirk. I can make a lot of things. And Izuku's like, well, my quirk is a vampire. As Momo's like, oh, that's a strong quirk. Do you have any, like, vicious tendencies? No offense. As Izuku's like, oh, none taken. No, I don't. I just, I use blood for my quirk, as you'd imagine, but I run it on my own blood, so I usually have blood in my water. And Momo's like, oh, that's fine. We'll just say it's Kool-Aid. And Izuku's like, that's fine. So, Izuku and that entire friend group had a great relationship because they were all in pretty good conditions money-wise. And that's because there were always security guards around the daycare. And Izuku never got hurt. Nothing ever happened at the daycare that was violent to him. Everyone respected Izuku because he looked really cool. And Bakugo and Yaoyorozu were his bestest of friends. So yeah, that went on until they were at the end of their middle school. But Izuku and everyone there was taught at that daycare. And they did have like teen zones, but there were less and less security. So when they were at that level, there was a single security guard, still highly trained because it was a highly protected community. So Izuku is like, so this is our last day, Momo. And Momo's like, yeah, it is. Where will you be enrolling? As Izuku's like, well, since it only goes up to middle school here, my parents told me that I could go anywhere I want. They're happy with where. Also, have you heard about the new heroes? Well, I just heard about these people. They've been alive my entire life. And I believe their name was Imperium and Psychotic. There's the number 4 and 5 heroes. And Izuku is like, oh yeah, also? They look exactly like my parents. His mom was like, cool. And then Izuku's like, oh, you're not going to question that? And Mom was like, well, if they are your parents, that could explain why you have such a strong quirk. And Momo then realizes, oh, right, when you get to the class, as they quickly run over. And yeah, class proceeds as normal. So when summer break is on for 10 months, why did I say summer break now? Izuku thinks about it like, okay, Mom, as Hisashi and Inko walk over to him like, what is it, Izuku? Izuku thinks about it like, I've narrowed it down to 2 schools, Shiketsu High School and UA High School. As Inko's like, that's the one All Might's going to. And Izuku's like, what do you say? And Inko's like, oh, nothing. And Izuku is like, Well, I heard you're a teacher, Mom. Where are you working? As Inko's like, you finished middle school, Izuku. I guess it's time we tell him, Hisashi. And Hisashi's like, okay, that's fine. As Izuku is like, what is it? What have you been hiding? As Inko's like, well, son, I am psychotic. Your father is Imperium. You're number 4 and 5 pro heroes. As Izuku's like, gosh, really? As Inko's like, yeah, Izuku. Yeah, that's it. As Izuku's like, cool. So are you not a teacher? As Inko's like, no. That's why you're rich. Oh, we're both 4 and 5 heroes. So, that happened. And Izuku, messaging his entire group chat is like, guys, my parents just revealed to me that they're the number 4 and 5 heroes. And Bakugo's like, hey, my dad's All Might, I guess. And Izuku's like, I can't see it. I mean, I guess you're both blonde. And Bakugo's like, it's a joke, dummy. Just like, that's a joke, clearly. And Izuku's like, no, they're not joking. They showed me the costumes. As he sends them a picture of it. And they're like, whoa. Cool, Izuku. And 10 months later, after some fearsome training with his parents, Izuku, just before going to the entrance exam, puts on a jacket that his mother and father gave to him. It was this pink and black jacket that you see in the picture. And Izuku is like, I'll do this for you, Mom and Dad. As he quickly flies over to U8, realizing that there was 1 minute until the gates were closing. As he uses his blood to go into his bat mode and fly as fast as he can. And as it hit 10 seconds, Izuku flew through the doors. And the teacher saw this, like, wait. As Izuku quickly stops, like, what is it, sir? As Izuku's a bat. And as I was like, okay. Just want to make sure you were a student. As Izuku morphs back into a human, like, yeah. As he walks towards the exam hall. And as always, they do the normal writing exam. And Izuku passes with flying colors because his daycare covered basically everything. They were a very high quality daycare. So Izuku was very fond of it, and he remembered a lot of things. Like math. What a nerd. And, yeah. Then he goes to the robot fighting part. And when President Mike tells them all to start, Izuku quickly starts, he uses his blood immediately and turns into a bat and quickly flies over to some robots. He morphs immediately back into a human. And, he begins to go down with the robots. He uses his advanced eyesight to see just barely their weak spot, which just is a blinking light. And Izuku starts punching them there with his enhanced strength with all of his training. And through the first 10 minutes, he already has 45 points, being number 1. In second place was Bakugo with 15. And Izuku just mauling through the robots. Most people thought he had a speed quirk, but they didn't see his bat form. And Izuku, after just seeing robot after robot, quickly retracts his fangs like, looks like there's no humans here. Okay. As for about an hour later, when there is about 5 minutes left in the exam, Izuku hears a cry for help, realizing, I'm at 105. Do I really need to? Oh, fine. As he quickly glides towards the person. And when he finds Ochaku Uraka on the ground, he's like, how are you, ma'am? As Uraka's like, help me! The robot! Look! As Izuku looks up like, oh, okay, this looks tough. As he quickly yanks her out of the rubble and sets her down near the wall. And Izuku is like, okay, full power, as he uses more blood than usual and makes wings on his back. And with his bat wings now, begins flying up. When he reaches eye level with the robot, his fingers quickly become very pointy. And Izuku's like, true vampire form, Dracula. As Izuku's fangs come back out, but they get bigger. And Izuku's like, let's do this. As he dashes immediately towards the robot, and with one swipe of his hand, breaks its head off. And Izuku's like, I'm that strong? As he quickly retracts all the things that are wasting up a lot of his blood. And he quickly starts falling down. And Izuku's like, crap, I did not think that far. And I have this dang cooldown. As Izuku's like, this is going to not be as pleasant, but I'll have to use a little more blood. As he quickly lands his feet on the wall. And Izuku walks off the side of the building. And Izuku is like, that's so weird, the things I can do. And, yeah, the exam is then ended. And Izuku brings Ochako over to Recovery Girl. And, yeah. So Izuku, 4 weeks later, gets a letter from UA. And Inko and Hizashi bring it over to him, and Izuku's like, oh, this is from UA. As he clicks on the letter, and he's greeted by Aizawa, like, hello, student. You are Izuku Midoriya, and you have passed with flying colors on the test, with 165 points, getting the most in your class by quite a wide margin. You nearly beat All Might's record, which is 200 points. So, good job, kid. You've got some real potential. You are assigned to Class 1A of UA High School. Best of luck, UA. As the hologram ends. And Izuku's like, yes! As, a week later, Izuku's walking up to to the campus with his friends. Like, we've come the long journey, and we're finally here, guys. As Bakugo's like, just go, you nerd. We don't need you lagging us behind for our hero journey, after all. Izuku's like, be quiet, Katsuki. As they all walk into the building. And yeah. So, this is Kami Rushi signing off. Bye-bye. Yeah, that's also where we're ending part 1. Bye.